Good morning, class 7. Today we are going to start a new chapter, Chandni, a chapter which is in your supplementary reader textbook. Let us start the chapter, Chandni. Abu Khan kept goats as pets. He loved his goats, but they left him one by one. He bought a young pretty goat and called her Chandni. So we are going to start a lesson. We are going to read a lesson about Abu Khan and his goat Chandni. We will see in the chapter why this goat was given the name Chandni, and we will also see how Abu Khan loved his goats. Once upon a time, there lived an old man in Almora. He was popularly known as Abu Khan. He lived all alone except for a few goats which he always kept as pets. I am very sure some of you also must have kept dogs as pets at home, and those who have pet dogs, or pet cats also, they must be knowing very well that if you keep pet animals, you really start loving them. They are also very loving, they are very affectionate, and you also develop love and affection for them. Similar was the case with Abu Khan. He had kept goats as pets and he loved his goats a lot. He gave his goats funny names such as Kalua, Mongia or Gujri. He would take them out for grazing during the day and talk to them as one talks to one's own children, because Abu Khan did not consider goats as pet animals. He used to consider the goats as his own children. That is why he used to talk to them like we talk to children. At night, he would bring them back to his little hut and put a string round the neck of each goat. Poor Abu Khan was a little unlucky in the matter of his goats. Very often at night, one of the goats would pull and pull at the string till it broke loose and then would disappear in the hills beyond. Goats in hilly regions hate being tied to trees or poles. That means they love to be free. They love freedom. They don't want to be tied to trees or to poles. They love their freedom. Abu Khan's goats were of the best hill breed. That means they were of best quality goats found in the hills. They too loved their freedom. So, whenever they got a chance, they would run away only to get killed by an old wolf who lived in the hills. Now, although Abu Khan's goats loved freedom, they freed themselves one by one every night, but they did not realize that in the hills they would be eaten up by an old wolf. There was a dangerous wolf who used to kill the goats and eat them up. Whenever one of his goats disappeared, Abu Khan was very sad. He did not understand why even the juiciest grass and grains that he gave them and all the love that he showered on them would not stop these unfortunate goats from running straight into the jaws of death. I hope you have understood. Jaws of death indicates wolf. When every night one goat each day broke the rope with which it was tied and went to the hills, Abu Khan became very sad because he loved his goats so much. And Abu Khan was not able to understand one thing, that although he is giving the juiciest grass to eat and he loves his goats so dearly, why his goats leave him and they go into the hands of death. They go to be eaten up, to be killed and eaten up by the dangerous wolf. Are these goats mad? He wondered. Or was it their love for freedom? He was not able to understand. Were they mad that they did this, that they left Abu Khan, who loved them so dearly, and they went into the hills to be killed there? Or was it their love for freedom that was forcing them to do this? But freedom meant struggle, hardship, even death. So it was not an easy journey. If they wanted freedom, they had to face lots of struggles, lots of hardships, and sometimes they had to face death also. Abu Khan couldn't solve the mystery. One day, when all his goats had left him, Abu Khan said to himself, "No more goats in my house ever again." He was so upset and a little annoyed also that when all the goats went away to the hills, one day he decided and told himself, "I will not keep any more goats in my house now. No more goats in my house ever again. I may yet live for a few more years, but I'll live without goats." He was so upset, he was so sad and angry as well, that he decided that whatever years of my life are left, I will lead my life all alone, but I will not keep any goats now onwards in my house. However, the poor old man was terribly lonely. There was nobody else. Earlier there were goats, now there were no goats also. He was totally all alone. The poor old man was terribly lonely. He simply couldn't do without his pets. That means it was becoming very difficult for him to lead a lonely life without pets, because he had always had this habit of keeping pet goats at home. He used to love the goats as if he loved his children, and now living all alone was very difficult for him. Very soon he bought a young goat. He thought, "A young goat will stay with me much longer. She will soon begin to love me as well as the food I give her every day. She will never want to go to the hills." And he laughed with joy. So finally he decided that he will have to keep a young goat in his house as pet, because he could not live alone, and he was sure that soon the goat will start loving him as well as the food which he would give her, and she will never want to go to the hills. The new goat was very pretty. She was white as snow and had two little horns on her little head and a pair of gleaming red eyes. Gleaming means shining red eyes. She had a friendly temperament. That means she was very friendly by nature and would listen to Abu Khan's tales with a lot of interest and affection. Abu Khan called her Chandni, which means moonlight. Now, if I ask you here, why did Abu Khan give this name Chandni to the goat? Why not any other name? The reason was that since the goat was white as snow and the moonlight is also white in color, that is why Abu Khan gave this name Chandni to this new goat, which means moonlight. He loved Chandni and would narrate to her stories of all his friends who were dead and gone. So he used to tell stories to this new goat Chandni as if we tell stories to children at home. And the goat also listened to his tales, listened to his stories with lot of interest and affection. Several years passed. Chandni was still there. Abu Khan believed that Chandni would never leave his compound for the free and fresh air of the hills beyond. Alas, he was mistaken again. That means he was mistaken that Chandni would never leave him and go to the hills, because one day Chandni also showed her interest to go to the hills. Like other goats, Chandni too missed the hills. She told Abu Khan she must have her freedom. The story of the dangerous wolf in the forest did not discourage Chandni. Every morning, Chandni watched the hilltops bathed in sunlight. That means all the hilltops were completely covered with sunlight. How beautiful those hills are, she thought. How refreshing the breeze that blows through them. And how lovely to run across those green fields. So the beautiful sight of the hills covered with sunlight, the beautiful experience of the breeze blowing, and also the green fields that Chandni could see, all these things attracted Chandni, and she also wanted to go to the hills and be free. She ran towards the hills but had to stop with a jerk. The rope round her neck wouldn't let her go any further. How she hated that rope. She hated the rope because that rope was not letting her go further into the hills, and she wanted to be free. She stopped eating the green grass Abu Khan brought for her. Nor did she listen to his stories with interest and affection. Why? Why suddenly this change in her behavior came? Because she did not want to live with Abu Khan anymore. She did not want to be tied up in Abu Khan's house, but wanted to be free and go to the hills. She lost her appetite. That means she stopped eating food, and gradually she showed her disinterest towards food. She lost her appetite, grew very thin. Now when anybody, whether it is a human being or an animal, if any living being will not eat food properly, then it has to become lean and thin and weak also. She lost her appetite, grew very thin, and stared moodily at the hilltops bathed in sunlight. Abu Khan did not understand Chandni's anguish. Anguish means angry behavior, anger. Abu Khan was not able to understand why Chandni was showing disinterest towards food, also disinterest towards the stories which earlier she used to listen with great interest and affection. He was not able to understand why this goat was showing her anger in this way. At last, she decided to speak to him frankly. "Dear Abu Khan," she said, "let me go to the hills, please. If I stay on in your compound, I'll die." Now Abu Khan understood Chandni's problem, but it made him very unhappy. Why he became unhappy? Because earlier also all his goats one by one had left him and they went to the hills. They went to that place where there was a big danger waiting for them, the old wolf who used to kill the goats. Now this young goat Chandni was also showing her willingness to leave Abu Khan and go to the hills, and this made Abu Khan very sad. The earthen pot, earthen means mitti ka bartan. The earthen pot which contained Chandni's breakfast fell from his hands and broke into 1,000 pieces. He was holding, Abu Khan was holding an earthen pot filled with the food that he was going to give to Chandni, but as soon as he heard from Chandni that she also wanted to leave him and go to the hills, he was so sad and disappointed that the earthen pot fell from his hands. "Why do you want to leave me, Chandni?" Abu Khan asked. "I want to go to the hills," Chandni answered. "Don't you like the food here? I'll give you tastier food and a much longer rope." "No, thank you. Let me go to the hills." "Do you realize the risk you are running? You obstinate creature." Obstinate means stubborn, ziddi. Abu Khan is becoming angry and he is asking Chandni, "Do you know what kind of a risk you are planning to take? You are behaving in such an obstinate manner. You are becoming so stubborn. You want to go to the hills. Do you know that great danger that is waiting for you there? Don't you like the food here? I'll give you tastier food and a much longer rope. Do you realize the risk you are running, you obstinate creature? There is a dangerous wolf in the hills. He'll eat you up. Abu Khan did his best to warn her. Chandni answered, God has given me a pair of horns. I'll fight the wolf. So Chandni was not at all afraid with the fact that a dangerous wolf was there in the hills. And she told Abu Khan that God has given me 2 horns. I will defend myself using these horns. Fight the wolf, indeed. Have you forgotten the story of your sister Kalua, who was the size of a big deer? She fought the wolf through the night but was killed in the morning. Abu Khan narrated Kalua's story for the 50th time. So 50 times, just imagine, 50 times Abu Khan had told the story of Kalua, how Kalua's life came to an end. All this was described to Chandni, but Chandni was determined to go to the hills. To all this, Chandni had only one thing to say: I want to go to the hills. She was also determined in her decision. She was firm that whatever may happen to her, she was not bothered, but she wanted to go to the hills. Abu Khan got very annoyed. He thundered. Angrily, he spoke something. You are not going anywhere. From today, you will live in a small hut and not move about freely in the compound. Ungrateful as you are, you must still be saved from the wolf. So Abu Khan gave this order that from today I will not let you move in the compound freely. You will have to live in a small hut and you will have to stay there, because I can't let you go to the hills, because a wolf is waiting for you to eat you up there. He pushed her into a small hut and shut the door. But he forgot to close the small window at the back. Children, you can see a picture on this page. See how the goat is jumping outside using that window to run away. But he forgot to close the small window at the back. The same night, Chandni made that window her passage to freedom, as you can see in the picture. Chandni went back to the hills. She knew the wolf was somewhere there. She was ready to put up a good fight. Chandni reached the hills. It seemed to her that the old hills were standing in a row to welcome her. As soon as she reached the hills, she was so delighted that she felt as if the hills are standing in a row, in a line to welcome Chandni. She felt like a child meeting her parents after years of separation. Wherever she went, the tall grass rose to embrace her. That means it seemed to her as if the tall grass was spreading its arms to show their love and affection. The flowers bloomed to amuse her, and the wind sang an endless song of welcome. So you can well imagine how nice was this experience for Chandni when she reached the hills. How different all this was from her past life in the prison house of Abu Khan's compound. Why she is calling Abu Khan's house a prison house? Because she had to live in a confined area, she had to live in a limited area and could not go around freely. But now, since she was free, she was among the hills, she was in the hills, so now there was nobody to stop her. And everywhere she could go wherever she wanted to go. The place was filled with long, tall grasses. The breeze was clear. The atmosphere was clear. And she could move about freely in the hills where nobody was there to stop her. That day she played for hours on the grassy slopes of the hills. She met a herd of wild goats who asked her to join their group. But Chandni politely refused. She wanted to enjoy her new freedom all by herself. She was not interested in joining a herd of goats which she found on the hills, because she wanted to enjoy her freedom all alone. The sun disappeared behind the hills. That means now it was evening time. It was the time for sunset. The sun disappeared behind the hills, and soon darkness enveloped the grass. That means it was night now. The darkness enveloped the grass, the flowers, and the trees. Everywhere there was darkness. The wind stopped blowing, and there was stillness all around, except for a strange sound which was coming from the bushes. Everywhere it was silence and only silence. Only she could hear a strange sound which was coming from behind the bushes. Can you guess whose sound is this? This is the sound of that old dangerous wolf. The sound was like a grunt. What was it? It wasn't Abu Khan's voice calling her back to the compound, nor was it the voice of another goat. Then Chandni thought of the dangerous wolf who lived in the hills. She felt scared. Should she go back to the safety of Abu Khan's hut? No, she said to herself. Death in an open field is far better than life in a small hut. Now see how determined was Chandni. When she heard this strange sound and she realized that this is the sound of that dangerous wolf, for some time she thought, should she go back to Abu Khan? But then her heart gave her the answer no, because she says to herself that it is better to die in an open field rather than to live in a small hut without one's freedom. The wolf had come out of the bushes and was staring greedily at Chandni. The wolf was looking at Chandni with greedy eyes because he wanted to kill Chandni and eat her. His eyes were shining like burning coals in the darkness. He seemed in no hurry. He knew the new goat was his. He was confident that he will easily attack this new goat and make his prey. The wolf and the goat sized up each other. That means they stood in front of each other. The wolf was big and ferocious, whereas the goat, though healthy, was small. But small is not weak. If any animal is small, you should not consider small as weak. Small can be equally tough to fight with. But small is not weak. Chandni stood firm on her legs, head slightly bent and horns jutting out. That means Chandni had taken her position to fight with the wolf. She was a picture of courage. That means from her gesture, from her body movement, it was very clear that Chandni was full of courage. She looked like a brave soldier ready to fight a treacherous enemy. Treacherous means an enemy who cheats his other enemy. धोखा देने वाला enemy. धोखा देना. Okay? So, Chandni was ready as a brave soldier stands in front of his treacherous enemy and is ready to face his enemy. Similarly, Chandni was also bravely facing the wolf. I must put up a good fight, Chandni thought. Success or failure is a matter of luck or chance. She was not afraid whether she is going to win or lose in the fight, but she was determined that she is going to fight like a brave soldier. The fight began. It went on through the night. The moon, which had been watching the fight, began to grow pale and suddenly hid behind the clouds. The stars also began to disappear one by one. A faint light appeared in the east, and the morning call for prayer came from a distant mosque. That means the fight between the wolf and Chandni went on the whole night, and now it was morning time. The first rays of the sun saw Chandni lying on the ground. She was completely soaked in blood. The wolf, tired and sleepy, was getting ready to devour her. That means to attack her and kill her. Now Chandni was lying dead on the ground. The wolf was looking at her so that it could now eat the dead Chandni. An assembly of birds perched on the top of a tree nearby was debating the result of the fight. Who is the winner? Who is asking this? The birds who were sitting, a group of birds were sitting on the nearby tree, and they were discussing about the result of the fight between Chandni and the wolf. And one of them asked, who is the winner in this fight? One of them asked. The wolf, of course, most of them said. Most of them will obviously say that Chandni has lost the battle because she has died, she has been killed, and wolf is the winner. A wise old bird declaimed with confidence, that means said with confidence, Chandni is the winner. And I also feel personally that Chandni is the winner because Chandni fought bravely. She did not give up in front of the wolf. She did not surrender in front of the wolf. Although she knew very well that she was small, the wolf was very big and very dangerous. She knew very well what is going to be the result of this fight. But she had the courage, she had the determination, and she kept on fighting so bravely that she died fighting. Like a brave soldier dies fighting on the battlefield. He does not leave the battlefield. He does not run away from the battlefield seeing that, oh, my enemy is a very powerful enemy, I will be defeated, let's go home. Do the soldiers do this? Never. Whether their enemy is strong or not, whether their enemy is powerful or not, they face their enemy bravely and they keep on fighting till the last breath. Similarly, Chandni, although she knew that she is going to be killed by the wolf ultimately, but she did not surrender, she did not give up, and she died fighting. That is why in the end it has been said that Chandni is the winner. So in this way, this beautiful story comes to an end. I am sure, children, you must have enjoyed the chapter. It's an interesting chapter to read, isn't it? So read the chapter once again, and if you have any query, you can ask me on my personal WhatsApp number. Thank you, children.